Alright, hello and welcome back. If you're just joining, this is the TSN Armada 2.0 mission scripting live. And through this, what I'm going to be doing is, I made a start already in the last stream, looking at putting this mission script together. This is going to be a hunt for pirates mission. I might actually change it to hunt for scars because they're a bit more interesting to try and tackle than just pirates. But we'll see as we go along. I put together the mission script itself, so that was all set up in the folders ready to go, and I'd started writing a few bits and pieces. Now, I'd already started changing my mind as I went along. When you're mission scripting, if you're developing a mission script, you end up changing all sorts, and it looks very different at the end than it does at the start. I always find as well that I don't usually just create one mission script. I create lots of elements for a mission script because I work mostly on the TSN sandbox with all the bits that go in there. So let's have a look. This is where I got to. I had a neutral ship, I had a Scaran, and I was removing that original. So I had to think about this, and actually what I want to do is I want to have an initial setup. So this is my initial setup, which is creating that neutral ship. So on startup, I've got this chapter 1. I'm going to rename it. I'm going to rename this sector setup. It's going to be 1. I'm going to set it as an integer so that when sector setup equals 1, then this neutral is going to be created. In this as well, I'm going to add all my extra, like the terrain and everything, so everything will come on along at the same time. So sector setup. And it might be that I end up breaking this out later anyway and putting it somewhere else. Okay, so I've got my neutral that I'm going to have flying around, and if I go to edit on space map and drag this across here, you can see there's my neutral. Alright. Can't remember. There's zoom. Alright, there's my neutral. Golf's 1-6, it's just going to be flying around for the minute. And there's like the shadow of the player there. So what's going to happen is that player, when it moves close to the neutral, I want the neutral to swap to an enemy that attacks the player, and when the player moves further away from the neutral, I want to swap it back to the neutral. So I'm going to set up like a detection first. So let's go and go detection. And this is going to be in a folder, and we're going to go, the condition is going to be if the distance between the object in player slot 0 and with name, and my neutral is golf 1-6, is less than, let's call it 2000, then this is going to trigger. I'm going to put a variable, and I'm going to have it as detected. So detected equals, I'm just going to set it as 10 for now, so it's a nice big one. So rename, and I'll call it close detection. So if I also want here this condition, let's have a look. New condition. Object exists with name golf 1-6. So object with name golf 1-6 exists, and the distance between that object is less than 2000, then detected is 10. Right? And now I'll call this one out of range. So I've just copied and pasted that because I want the enemy, if the enemy exists and the player is greater than 2000 away from that enemy, then I want to set detected back to 1. So it's almost like a detection rate. Let's see. My sound's just switched it off. on my headset, so I can't hear anything now, but I can still speak because that's not coming through my headset. There we go. Right. Let's change the audio properties so I can hear my own music. There we go. Bit of music in the background. I am watching a live stream, so if you want to comment in the live stream, I can see that. The live stream itself is a few... I think it's about a minute behind, or like 30 seconds behind, so I'll see your comments and then respond to them. So there will be a bit of a delay. So that's if the object enemy exists and the distance is greater than detection is 1. So if detection equals 1 and this ship, the neutral ship, doesn't exist, and detection equals 1, then what I want you to do is I want you to create the neutral ship. So that's here. And then I'm going to set detection to 2, because if I don't set that to 2, in fact, no, that should be alright. Detection equals 1 and it doesn't exist, create that ship. That should be fine. Because as soon as it creates it, it will count it as existing, so it'll stop creating it. Alright, so I'm going to call that set neutral. And then here... I also want to delete the enemy, because the enemy is the one that I want to delete. And this neutral I'm just going to set point 0, 0, the bearing of 0. And I want to destroy the enemy ship. So I've kept the names the same. This is Space Golf 16 and this is just Golf 16. So when it creates it and it swaps it, it doesn't look like that designation has changed. It's the same designation. I want to create that neutral, and then I want to set, before I destroy here, I want to go position, set relative to object. So set position of Golf 16 to 100 meters and 0 degrees starboard to of the enemy. Let's see, so I've got to create the neutral, set the position and delete the enemy. Okay. Let's copy that and paste it, because then this is going to be set enemy. So if the variable is 10 and the enemy doesn't exist, then I want to swap these around. So create enemy with name Golf 16, and that's going to be a Scaran. Let me see where's Scaran to make it interesting. Scaran executor. Set the relative position of the Scaran executor enemy to the position of the neutral, and then destroy neutral. Okay, so these ones actually are a little bit redundant, because what I've done there is I've duplicated that one and duplicated that one. So this variable detect up here, I'm going to have to create detected and detected and detected. Okay, so detected on startup wants to be set to 1. So I've got these startups. I'm going to delete that mission timer. I'm not going to worry about these yet. I usually delete the play slot. So it spawns on its own. Sector startup equals 1, detected. So when that equals 1, I'm going to create the neutral, and I'm going to set that to back to 0. so that it doesn't keep creating neutral forever. If I don't set that back to 0, so here, this isn't as much a tutorial as just me scripting, to be honest, but here, if I've got sector startup set to 1 in my start block, then it switches it to 1. So it creates a variable and it says called sector startup, and it sets it to 1. And then in this event here, it says, right, well, if sector startup is 1, then what I want you to do is create that neutral ship. The thing is, unless I add this in, sector setup will always be 1. So then I kind of go through and I go, right, that variable that you created earlier, now what I want you to do is I want you to set it to 0. And that, in my mind, I use that for switching on and off. So it's like, that's it off, and when it's 1 is on. So it's like a true or false, basically. So what I'll do is create that. And what I could do here as well, actually, while I'm at it, is I can add all the terrain in as well. So I could add in some nebulas. Let's add in some nebulas here. And some nebulas here, so it just creates it a bit more of an interesting environment. Asteroids. And let's increase that to about 200. Let's make it 150. So it just makes the environment look a bit more interesting. I also want to create some stations, so let's drop a station in here. Let's make it deep space station. This has still got the TSN mod in it, so you can see, like, I've got the Athena class, the Zeus class, the Orion class. Those are all mod ships for part of the TSN mod. So I'm just going to use stuff that's not part of the mod, so this will run on vanilla. So I've got the deep space base there, and I'm going to call it DS, and just go with like the generic names, DS16. I'm going to have DS16, and then I'm going to rename this DS25, DS31. Alright, so I've got 3 bases there. I've got Golf 16 that's created as well. And you can see I've got those nebulas as well. So when sector startup goes, it's going to set all these up and it's going to get ready to go. I also want it to wait until the player ship spawned. So let's add a new condition. Object exists in player slot 0. So what I can do now is the mission script will run. It'll set all these up. I always set difficulty to 10. It'll set these up. It'll show the message. So this is, I'm going to change the name, Hunt for Scars by Xavier. Like that. It'll set my initial variables up, set up and detect to 1. I'm actually going to remove that detect from there and drop it in here because I don't want it to happen until then. Okay. And then when the player ship spawns, so when it exists, and this is set to 1, which it will be, it'll trigger all of the setup, and it'll get things started, and then that's that bit. And then we've got close detection, so when the object Golf 16 exists, which it will exist here, because I've got it created there. Let's move that up. I've got it created there. And the distance between player in slot 0 is less than 2000, set detected to 10. If it's greater than 2000, set detected to 1. So, if it's 1 and it doesn't exist, then I'm going to create the neutral. And I'm going to destroy Golf 16. And if it's detected equals 10, then I'm going to create, and the enemy doesn't exist, I'm going to create the enemy, set the relative position, and then destroy the neutral. So it should toggle backwards and forwards. Let's add a new action because I want to set the player position now. So position, set position of object in play slot 0. So I can see I've got 5 people viewing. Hello, I hope you are finding this interesting. Like I say, give me a shout in the live chat. You should be able to say hi. So 200 meters and 180 degrees. Relative to movement, direction of location. DS31. Where's DS31? Keeps going off screen. It keeps going onto my other screen, which is annoying. Here it is. There's DS31. So when we run this, player ship spawns. All this spawns. Then I set the position of the player ship over here. Golf 16 is there. Right, I think this is ready for its first test. So this is something that I do as well throughout. I try and keep things being tested. So if I already have my game set up. Let's find the right one. Open that one. Open that one. You just have to excuse me, I'm just doing something in the background. So if I fade over to my game feed, like that, you can see I've got my main kind of console, and I've got my server control screen. Should be able to see that. Just let me check the streams right. There we go. So I've already completed it. It's Hunt for Pirates here. I've just got an Artemis class. Now if I start game and I take a captain's map, I've got to take a main screen. The reason why I have to take a main screen is because in my mission script I didn't create it with a player ship already spawned. So to be able to spawn a player ship, you've got to have a main screen selected. It's something that I use in the TSN sandbox a lot, and sometimes it throws a lot of crews as well. So I might add a pop-up actually in this start. Let's set a new action and then do a, where is it? Game options, create and destroy buttons. Where is it gone? Messages, here we go. Show warning pop-up message. Choose a main screen. And click ready to play to begin. Choose main screen and click ready to play to begin. Because what will happen is, if I do that and then I save there, is when this starts, and you'll see it on the server control screen, if I start game now, nothing happens on the console screen. There's a lot of noise, I know that, so let me just solve that noise problem. There we go. You can't hear any noise now, good. So you can see nothing's happened because there's nowhere in the actual mission script that says spawn a player ship. So the pop-up should flash up. Did that pop-up flash up? Let's try ending the mission again. End. And then end game. Let's try again. Start. That pop-up should come. I don't know why that pop-up's not come up. Right, let's fix that. So this is why you do kind of testing throughout. So sector setup is going to be 2. Let's put in a new event and let's go instruction, and we'll grab this instruction here, cut. Oh, I know why it didn't come up. Just hang on a second. Because it's on player slot 0 and to consoles, all of them. That's why. There we go. Now it should come up, so let's get rid of that instruction. Set that back to 1. My mistake. Easy to make. So I've got... Sorry, and I'm talking about what I'm doing there. I'm just going to fade back. So what I did was in here, this pop-up message. I forgot to set this bit, so I had to set which consoles it goes to, and I forgot to set this bit of which ship it goes to. So that's that fixed. Go back over here, end that, and end that. Let's see, where's my stream? I press start game now. Wait for that pop up. Did I save? Try again. There we go. Choose main screen and click. Right. Ready to play to begin. Excellent. So it works on this resolution screen, but it doesn't work on that resolution screen. So I'm going to switch back to the mission script. Here we go. I'm going to break that out into more than one message. Choose main screen. Click ready to play. Did it in the opposite order. Choose main screen, click ready to play, and then go to begin. Now you're wondering, I bet you're wondering why I've done it in reverse order. That's because that pop-up will come first, and then that one, and then that one. And I think what it should do then is I'll have each one will knock one down, so you'll see it in the right sequence. So let's switch back over here and see if that works. If not, all I have to do is reorder it. So start. Do you know what I've not done? I've not saved it. I need to file, save, and try again. Start. Choose main screen, click ready to play to begin. Excellent. Okay, and that choose main screen there, that's because it's not cleared it from the server. So you can see, choose main screen, click ready to play to begin. Excellent. So I've chosen main screen, got a captain's map, click ready to play, and the ship is spawned. Excellent. Okay, looking at that, the ship has spawned next to an enemy base. So it's just being shot by its own base. So let's go back over here. Fade across. Why is it being shot by a base? On side 0, no side, on side default. On side default and on side default. Okay, then we go file and save. That's the bit that I kept forgetting to do a moment ago. Then we go. It's very hard. I'm finding it a bit tricky at the minute, just swapping backwards and forwards between the different views that I've got set up. I'm not as fluent as I'd like to be. So here we go. Back in here, choose main screen, click ready to play to begin. There we go. Good message, and it works on the different screen resolutions that I've got. I'd have to test it on bigger and smaller screen resolutions. So main screen, captain's map, ready to play, and we are spawned. The base is set to the right one now. Excellent. So I've got DS31, DS25, and DS16, and I've got Golf 16 there. Perfect. The next bit is I want to fly to that position there. I'm gonna have to just unplug. Which one do I want to unplug? Right. So I want to fly to that position there and see if that ship changes to a scout. So if I go helm ready. So I'm going to turn this way. Heading is 303. So this ring around here is 5,000. So I know... Oh dear. The whole thing just crashed. Alright. Let's see what happened there. It's very strange. The server just completely crashed. I don't think there's anything to do with my mission script. But it could be. So I'll have to be mindful of that. Start client here. Starts over here. Server. Right, script again. Let me see if I can get this back open very quickly. This is why I wanted to start a little bit earlier, because when you're developing mission scripts like this, you end up doing a lot of back and forth and trying to figure out all the problems that are going on. So I've got my server back online. Let's swap back over. Here we go. My game's back online here. I've got Hunt for Pirates running. I'm going to take a captain's map. I'm going to take a helm map and take a main screen. I'm going to start this up. I'll get that same message again. Choose the main screen, click ready to play to begin, which is exactly what I want. So I'm going to click ready to play. I'm going to spawn in. When I spawn in, everything spawns in. So there's Golf 1-6. Let's go helm round this direction and go to warp 2. There's nothing else spawning, which is fine. And what I'm going to do is go over here and just have a look. That's the events. That's the times. That's the variable. So detected is currently at 1. Sector setup is at 0. So that detected will change to 10 when I get close. Let's see, where am I? So I want to test this now to make sure that that very basic concept is working, because if it doesn't work, then I have to go back to the drawing board and start over with it. There's no point like scripting loads and loads and loads and then finding that none of it works. So there's Golf 1-6. I'm not within 2,000 of it yet. I'm within 3,000, so I'm going to get close. When I get close, we should have the enemy Golf 1-6 spawn, appear here, and then we should have it. Well, it'll start attacking because it'll be an enemy. But as soon as I move away, then it should also despawn. Let's get a little bit closer. It's moving very fast, is that Golf 1-6, isn't it? So within 2,000. There we go. There's the Skyrim spawned. Shields up. Shields up. Right, so the Skyrim spawned. Detection is at 10. Perfect. Okay, so the Skyrim's now killing me. So I'm going to get out of here, and hopefully, when I get out of here... Don't tell me my warp's offline. Come on. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. My warp's offline. Oh, no. No, no. Oh, I think I'm tracted. Okay, so this isn't good. So I can't get more than 2,000 away from this at the minute. Come on. Just to one Scaran there. Yeah, the Scaran has me tracted. Not a good position to be in. So I know part of my code works so far, but the other part I'm not sure of. Because I can't actually get away from the Scaran. Alright. Let's end there. And switch back to scripting. Let's put something in that's a little bit easier to run with, because if it's Scar and it's got Tractor, it's just going to sit there. Let's switch back. Interesting comment there about spawning in a new Scar each time a player ship gets close. Meaning that the specials get re-rolled all the time. I can sort that out. I can decide exactly which specials that I can have for the Scaran by setting the AI. So for example, in here, I'm going to do detect equals 10. It is a good point about those specials. But what I can do is I can go detect equals 11, and then here I'm going to put enemy AI, because obviously that tractor beam was a bit of a pain in the neck. So detected equals 11. I'm going to go new action, properties, and what was it? Set AI special values for enemy G60 to nothing, to nothing, and what I can do is I can clear every single one that I want to clear and just have the ones that I want to add. So I want it to have stealth, low visor, I don't want it to have cloak, I don't want it to have high energy turn, I don't want it to have warp, I don't want it to have teleport, or tractor, that was the one that was a killer. Drones, anti-mine. So this is clear special ability. It's a shame that I can't do like clear more than one special ability at a time. Anti-top, shield drain, shield vamp, teleback, and shield reset. So they're ones I can actually now tailor it and go, well, for this ship I want it to have high energy turn, so we'll add that special ability, and I want it to have low vis because that would make sense, we'll have that added as well, and I'm not bothered about the rest, so all the rest will be cleared. So let's put the ads near the top. Right, now let's put the ads near the bottom. One there and one there. So this Scaran is going to spawn, and it's going to have its special AI set to that, and then what I want to do is go new action and go detected to 12. So like it's stepping through. So what the ship spawn, so if detected is 10 and it doesn't exist, I spawn that ship, I set its position, I destroy the other ship, and then I step through to setting the AI. It steps through to the AI, it sets up all the AI how I want it, so the specials, and then the detected will be 12. And again, looking back at it, to be randomized, I could create several of these. So what I could do is a random variable between 11 and 15, and I could have loads of different setups, so it adds a certain element of randomization in there. That's one way of going about it. But yeah, it was a good point about the specials and how that works on there. Eventually as well, you see I'm going to have set neutral, I'm going to have neutral AI, because I want the neutral to follow a particular path around the area and cause like certain events to happen. Right, let's see. Oops, I pressed the wrong button there. I'll just minimize that. I'm going to swap back to my game feed. Okay, so my game feed's back. Press start. This is what you end up as well doing a lot with mission scripts. It's going back and forth and testing all of the time. So here we go. Right. Captain's map in here. There's Golf 1-6. And I'm going to fly out to it. I can also check using the science map actually. If I swap to the science map, I can check the specials that it'll have and everything by scanning it. See, where is it? It's just ahead now. So there's Golf 1-6. I'm within 3,000 of it. So when I'm going to go shields up this time. Alright. I'm going to fly towards it. It should swap when it's within 2,000. There it is. There's a Scarron. Starts attacking me. And let's have a look on science. I want to keep that Scarron there for the time being. I don't mind taking a bit of damage. Go through, get another scan on it. And I should see the specials that it's got set up. Start taking damage now. So it's got specials low vis and high energy turn, which if I double check my script, were the two that I added, weren't they? Yep, low vision and high energy turn. Right, now I want to get out of here, and when I see it, swap back. So if I go... Oh dear, I've lost one. There we go, warps back. So get more than 2,000 away from it. There we go, and it's back. That's interesting because it's back, and then, oh, yep, there it is, it's back. Now, if I spin round and go back in, see, I can see down here as well. What I can do is I can look at that AI brain stack. Yep. Go back in, and I should get my Scarron again. There it is. That's interesting. It's kept that low of his. There's the Scarron again. Scarpa. There we go, and it's back. Perfect. It's going to come back into range of me. I swap to a Scarron. I get out of here. And once I'm out of here, it's going to swap back to Golf 1-6. Alright, okay, so the basics is working. So it's going backwards and forwards between the two. It's not perfect, and what I could do is put some times between, but it's a good start. Right. So, now that I've got that close detection range and out of range, I've got set enemy neutral. I want the neutral AI. So, let's see. what do I want the neutral to do? I want it to pick one of these random bases to be heading towards. That's what I want it to do. So, neutral AI. So if I create a new folder here, just to keep this organized, now I'm going to go set neutral AI. Variable is detected. And then I'm going to set it to, so if I paste here, to a random integer between 2, within the range. You've got to enter your high one first. So the high one's going to be, let's set it as 4 and 2. Right. So using this same way as doing enemy AI, I'm going to do base 2.5. What are my bases called? 2.5, 1.6 and 3.1. Base 1.6 and base 3.1. Right, so if detected is 2, then set detected to 9. That's going to be definition 1, and this is where the AI commands are going to go. If detected is 3, then set it to 9, so it switches itself off. Delete that. And if detected is 4, switch off by 1 to 9. So this is how I'm going to create AI so it chooses a different path for this one. So new action, it needs to clear AI. So AI, clear AI commands. For object with name, golf 1.6. So I want that in all 3. 1, 2, and 3. And then I want to add an AI command. So new action, AI, add command, type, ship command. It's going to where is it? Attack, chase fleet, chase wild, and generic. Target throttle. Heading towards object with name. This is base 2.5. There. For object with name, golf 1.6. Throttle 1, that'll do. I'm going to copy that AI command, drop it in here, and change this base to DS 1.6. Drop it in here and change that to DS 3.1. Right, so I've got those 3. So it should spawn in now. You see it's created there initially. So actually that neutral AI, I don't want it to be here. I want it to be up here. And then I want the AI choice to always be the same. So instead of doing that, let's go new action. We're going to have neutral AI to random integer between what, oh no, what's my high value going to be? 3, low value 1. Okay, so this is going to be neutral AI is 1. And then just set to 10, so it switches it off. Neutral AI is 2. And then again switch it to 10, so it's off. And neutral AI is 3. And then set to 10, so it's off. Okay. Set variable neutral AI to render. Let's call it initial neutral AI between 1 and 3. And then let's drop it in here as well, because the neutral AI I want to be a constant then. So 2 I need underscores to link it together, because you can't have 3 separate words. There we go. So in the start block, it selects which base it's going to be going to, and then here it says, well, the neutral AI is going to be this. So neutral AI is 1, neutral AI is 2, neutral AI is 3. And then it's going to be object exists with name golf16. Then I want you to set the AI, and AI. There we go. So if it exists and the neutral AI is 1, then clear the AI command stack and hit detect and then build it there. If it's 2, build it there, and if it's 3, build it there. Do I need to do that? Because actually the neutral AI is going to be set randomly there. This way it starts getting a bit complicated. Let's change this to assign. Change this to assign neutral AI equals 1. Assign neutral AI to 2. Oh no, let's set it back to 0, so it's off. Because then that'll be done. So assign neutral AI is 1. Sets back to 0, because I want assign neutral AI to occur there. And I also want it to occur every time that appears. And then new condition, initial neutral AI is 1. Initial neutral AI is 2. And initial neutral AI is 3. I can delete that one, I can delete that one, I can delete that one. So if it's 1 and it's being prompted to assign neutral AI, then it's going to clear it, go here and do that. and it's always set to 1 when it's spawned. And then it's going to select one of those 3. But that neutral AI here, the initial neutral AI gets set at the beginning of the mission script, and it doesn't get reset. So that will forever be either 1, 2, or 3, all through the rest of the mission script. So that's going to work. Right. Save that there. Let's switch back over here. Fade in. And we're going to go start game. And then you can see on the main screen it says select a target NPC ship on primary player science console to see brain stack data. That allows me to monitor the AI stack that's going on. So let's go ready to play. And there's Golf 1.6. It looks like it's heading towards DS 1.5. So if I select that on science, like that, you've got brain, throttle 1, now chasing but not targeting DS 3.1. Okay, pathfinding is turned on. Okay, so that's that third. I think, yeah. So initial neutral AI should be set to 3 right now. So if I cycle through. Initial neutral AI is set to 3. Excellent. And then I'm going to go and end the simulation. Now when I start it up again, then what should happen is it should change. Oh no, it's set to 3 again. It's a problem with random integers. And start. There we go. Initial neutral AI is now set to 1. So when I select it on science, it should be going towards base 2.5. 7, targeting, now chasing but not targeting DS 2.5. Perfect. So it's going to choose randomly which base it's going towards, which is exactly what I want. Good. And that simulation there. And then go back over here. And right. So I've got it heading towards one of the bases. I've got when you get close to it, it will appear and it will change to a Scaran. Now what do I want? I want it so that when it is next to a base, it will also appear. So that I've got detection here, close detection. I'm going to call it base detection. So base detection. So if distance between Golf 1.6 and station DS 1.6, then I'm going to switch detection to 10. Let's call this DS 1.6 detection. Like that. And then I'm going to have DS 2.5 and 3.1 as well. So DS 2.5 and DS 3.1. So if distance between DS 1.6 and so that's 2.5, DS 2.5 is less than detect is 10, and this is DS 3.1. Station DS 3.1. So I've now got 3 different ways of detecting it. I also want this one here. Because, the reason why I want that, it might seem a bit redundant, but it's not redundant. It's because if I don't have that, then the distance will always be less than 2000 and it'll always set detect to 10, which means then it's not going to be stepping through this like I want it to, which it might work, but I don't want to risk that. So it can be detected when a player ship is close. or when one of those is close. So I want it to be DS25. Now then, this is going to cause a conflict here. So that's going to cause a conflict because it's going to say it's out of range. So it could be close to DS25, but it'll be out of range of the player ship potentially. So that will cause that conflict. What time are we on? 18:38. Which will cause an issue because it'll say, well, it's out of range of the player, but it's close to DS25, so it's going to end up flickering backwards and forwards. We don't want that. So let's do it with all of them. All we do is with name DS16, with name DS25, with name DS31. If it's greater than all of them and it exists, then the text switches to 1. That should fix that conflict. Yeah, that should fix that conflict. Right. Sure that's alright? So we have a neutral ship that makes its way towards one of the random bases. When it gets close to a base, it will switch to an enemy ship. One of the 3 bases. If the player gets close to it, it will also switch to an enemy ship. If it then moves out of range of any of those bases or the player ship, then it'll switch back to a neutral ship. Enemy AI, I want it to attack bases. So if I build this AI stack, so AI, clear AI commands for object with name, Golf 16. Let's build this AI stack up. Now, this is where I've got to remember how to do AI stacks because it gets added on each time. So it'll add this one first, and that'll be at the bottom priority of the brain stack. The higher up it is, it checks through it. So let's go ship command attack object name. Nope. Chase station. If it is closer than 3,000. Alright. Let's get rid of these. Then chase player. 3,000, 3,000. So you see, what it'll do is it'll add that one first and then add that one. And then it prioritizes them. So if I add another chase station above, see, AI is taking me years to figure out. So it'll chase station it's closer than 3,000, but if there's a player closer than 3,000 as well, it's going to prioritize the player. But then if there's a station closer than 5,000, it's going to prioritize that. I need to look at that. Let's get rid of that one. Go save. What other AI commands have we got? Now, if I don't ship chase anger, it means the player can't taunt it. So let's put chase anger. Like that. Go File, Save, and we'll swap to the stream. Now this is where it becomes a bit of a pain for testing. Let's change position of the ship. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the position of the ship to be a little bit closer, just for testing. Save that, and then let's go across to the game screen. So start here, and ready to play. Oh, why are all the stations now set to enemy? That's odd. Wasn't expecting that. Why have those all set to no side again? Default side. Side. Default side. So I wonder if that's some kind of bug with the map. Okay. Try that again. They should set to yellow now. There we go. Just check where I'm on the stream. Good. Right. Okay. So that Golf 1-6 is going to go to DS25. It's going to change to an enemy and it's going to attack DS25. I'm going to select it on the science so I can see its AI stat. You see brain, target throttle, now chasing, DS25, throttle is 1, pathfinding, well that's fortunate, isn't it? Pathfinding is turned on. So what it's going to eventually do is it's going to make its mind up and head towards DS25. Once it gets within 2000, like, there you go, you can see it turning. So the pathfinding takes a little bit of time to kick in as well, which is a little bit of a pain. It doesn't immediately start when you clear and recreate the AI. Now when it gets to DS25, it's going to change to an enemy, it's going to destroy that base, and then it'll change back to a neutral. There it is, there's the enemy. Brain stack says now targeting chasing DS25. You see this brain stack here, so it says brain chase station DS25, so that's what it's on now. If a player gets within 3000, it jumps to that next one and prioritizes that, and then if it gets a taunting, it jumps to that one and prioritizes that. So the order in which you do it is important. Okay. Let's destroy that base. So that means it should be further than 2000 from anything. So it should swap back. Why is it not swap back? Right, so it went up to that base, it destroyed it, but it's not swapped back. What I want it to do after that is swap back. So this is where we start having to puzzle out a couple of the problems with it. Distance between objects is less than 2,000 to 10. Right, okay. So that's a ship detection. Detected equals 1. Doesn't exist. Create neutral. Set relative position. Destroy. Assign AI. Assign AI. Let's add in this. Condition. Variable. Oh no, not variable. Object exists with name DS25 because it should only do that if that base actually exists. DS31. DS16. Right. Do you know that's a good point? So the station doesn't exist anymore. How does the program calculate the distance to it? I wonder if when the station is destroyed it still exists as like something within the script that it could detect, but has just disappeared on screen and has exploded or something. So when it's out of range, what I need to do is consider how this out of range could work. So let's break it out into out of range. So go DS31 out of range. 16 out of range and 25 out of range. It'd be a lot easier if there was just one base, but I don't want one base. And then play it out of range. So object exists and play ship is out of range, and DS25 is out of range, and 16 is out of range, and 31 is out of range. Let's add in here object exists with name DS25. Object exists with name DS31. An object exists with name DS16. Right, so if they exist and it's closer, then set it to 10. See, those have to be combined. Those would have to be combined, because otherwise it's going to be out of range of one and not out of range of the other. Or what about if we do this? Detected -1. And then we'll do this. Detected -1. And we'll do this. Detected -1. And we'll do this. Detected -1. Alright. Detected to +1. So, if you're in range of that detected to detected +1, detected to detected +1, detected +1. So you can be in range of that and be at 1, and in range of that, so you'll be at 2. See, this is where I think I might need to go back and change the detection and the way it detects. Because what I'm wanting it to do isn't going to work like this. Right. What time is it? 5 minutes left. I've got 5 minutes left, and I've hit a puzzle that I can't quite work out yet. So, it sets it up. Let's think through this carefully. I've got 3 stations there. Then, what it does is it randomly picks a station to go towards. If it's close to the player, then it'll be detected. If it's close to a station, it'll be detected. If it's out of range of the player, it'll be -1. And if it's out of range of the stations, it'll be -1. Variable detected is greater than 0. So it will only ever be 0. So if it's out of range of the player, it's -1. If it's in range of the player, it's +1. So I want detected up here to be set up as 1. And then it'll go, oh no, it's out of range of the player, so it's -1. Good. So it'll be set to 0. So that means it's out of range of that as well. So that won't work. Right, okay. Detected equals 0. Assign neutral AI. Detected equals 1. Assign enemy AI to 1. Assign enemy AI. Assign enemy AI. Oh, so I'm going to do that. So that's no longer reliant on stepping through there. So this is where I have to change things around. So if it's detected, if it's 1, it's equal to or greater than 1, and it doesn't exist, then it's going to be created. If it's equal to 0, and that doesn't exist, then it's created. Right. So that will change the way that that behaves. if I have in here, so to see those variables I need to get detected here, and I need to whack it here, so detected 0, because I want to see how that variable changes. Let's go back to the game screen, fade across, save the mission script before I start, file, save. I might do another mission scripting live to keep kind of progressing this as well. Ready? Alright. So let's flick through here. So if you look on the server screen on the bottom right, detected, keeps counting down and down and down. That's interesting. Don't want it to do that. So that will keep going forever. So let's go back over to the mission script. So if detected does not equal 0, -1. There we go. Try that. Okay, back over to the mission because I don't want it just keeping down, counting down and down and down. Start that. Okay, here we go. See what it's doing now. So detected is currently at 0, which is perfect. So if I fly my ship towards it, it should set it to 1. I'm going to have to just move this across so I can actually see these variables. Now, have I got the right screen on? I have, yep. See, where is it? Keep going. So I have come to the end of time. I'm just going to very quickly test this and then I'm going to switch back. But I think what I'll do is I'll keep doing this mission scripting live because obviously I've hit a bit of a snag there, and this is what happens with mission scripting. You have to kind of work through all these problems and go, I want to do that, but it's not working the way I want to. So you end up having to redo and rewrite scripts all the time. I think the sandbox script, for example, has evolved over years, and there's bits that actually see detected is now set to 1, but the enemy ship is not spawning. And I don't want to seem like it's a bit of a cheat where I've not actually being able to do it. So detected is 1. Now if I move away, detected should set back to 0. So I'm going to move away. Detected is now at 0. Perfect. Right? So detected on the server screen, when I'm close to it, it will set to 1. When I'm far away, it'll set to 0. Alright? So that's working as I want it to. But the fact that it now doesn't switch to my... let me just move that off there. Switch to my neutral is not good. It's a bit annoying how that's popped up. So, variable detected is greater than or equal to 1. Object doesn't exist with that. Create enemy, set relative position, destroy that one, and assign enemy AI. So this was not triggering. Why was that not triggering? Because it was definitely set to 1, but then it didn't trigger. I don't think I need that one. Alright, like I say, I'm going to stop there because this was going to be the end of the stream. I want to do another one of these to see if I can work through those problems. I hope it was interesting how that kind of script was building up. We started off with just a few commands. Something like this could take me a few more hours, definitely. Just to try and work through that problem and figure out what is the issue with it now swapping back to a different type of ship. I wonder if it's because when it swaps to the other ship, it's no longer detected because you're not in range of it, so it swaps over. That's probably it. But it was, like I say, I hope it's been of interest. I'm going to finish there, and I think coming up next on the schedule is the Armada campaign, so I don't want to step on Gary's toes. So I hope you enjoy that, and I'll see you next time.